Hey, welcome to Live from Dennis's House. Today, we're spotlighting the Purple Rain soundtrack by Prince. And we're going to do a Prince tribute. We're going to celebrate his life. And this was one of the greatest soundtrack albums ever released, 1984.
Yes, it is.
1984 was a good year. I'm going to tell you a nice little story I remember from 1984. That I was working at a supermarket back in 1984. That's actually where I met Cha-Cha.
Yes.
But I had a bad attitude, but there was a union, so they couldn't fire me, so they just transferred me all around New York. So I worked like everywhere, Long Island, Queens, Brooklyn. So there's when I was working at the Brooklyn store, I met this guy who worked there. He was Black Earl was his name. That's what he actually introduced himself to me. So it's not just what I called him. Anyway, that Earl was from the South, and he used to like to get fired up, as he calls it. To this day, I use that expression. He was like, I want to get fired up. Fired up. So they like to mess with me and Black Earl, so they gave us the worst job they could possibly give us. They put us in the basement and made us do all the recycling cans and bottles and stuff, right? So little did they know that we had to push the cans down past the beer cooler. So every day as we'd be passing the beer cooler, we'd be loading up the empties with full ones. So me and Earl would be getting fired up in the basement doing all these cans, right? Before that, I forgot to mention that when I was at the Long Island store, I was the carry-out boy.
Yeah,
that was like the best job
remember.
because I got to stay outside all the time, and it was like all rich women. So I would carry their bags to the car, and they'd give me good tips. So I made like hundreds of dollars a day.
And got fired up. Yes.
The one thing I remember, it was like when I was doing something else, the ladies would be, "Yoo-hoo, carry out, yoo-hoo." So I still wake up sometimes in my sleep from hearing that. But anyway, back to me and Earl. That at this time, I came into a big parcel of, as you would call them, black beauties back then. They were known as amphetamines. So me and Earl would be doing these and getting fired up in the basement. And we'd be done in like half an hour because we were doing all these black beauties. So we'd be done recycling all the cans, and then we'd just sit down there and get fired up all the day. And then the reason I'm bringing up Earl, because Earl was a big Prince fan as well. So, we had a lot in common there besides getting fired up. But it all came to a head on June 27th, 1984, that one day I went into work and I had a hangover, right? So I went down into the basement to my spot, and I just went to sit down for a minute. Next thing I knew, I was laying down. Next thing I knew, the manager was standing over me, poking me, I fell sound asleep. And he got so mad because I woke up. I was hugging the broom. I was supposed to be sweeping up, but I was there sleeping, hugging the broom in the basement. And needless to say, that was the end of my career. So now we're going to start the show off with a long-distance dedication to Black Earl. So let's listen to When Doves Cry by Prince. And we'll be right back. Now we're going to talk about the Man About Town segment and what I did this week. And I had a very interesting week. I went into New York City. I covered a concert at La Poussin Rouge. I don't know how to pronounce it, but I think you know where that place is. It's downtown New York City. And I covered the Peter Murphy show. Woo! And it was an awesome time, nice little place. And the highlight of the night, though, I went with my friend, the singer in my band, Doug DeSilva. And Peter Murphy was his childhood hero. He loves Peter Murphy, Bauhaus, more than anything in the world, right? So in the middle of the concert, Peter Murphy points to him and tells him to come up on stage. Yeah. That's right? Awesome. So Doug's like looking at me, and I'm pushing him, go. So he runs up on stage, and Peter Murphy gives him the mic to start singing. Wow. And Doug can actually sing Peter Murphy better than Peter Murphy can.
That is
true. He starts singing, and Peter Murphy is flabbergasted. He just pulls some schlub out of the audience, and this guy sounds just like him. He knows all the lyrics.
That's perfect.
And Peter Murphy's like hugging him and applauding. Yeah. The whole place is going crazy. And then like the woman behind me, I hear her saying, "Oh, that's a setup. There's no way he just picked that guy out of the crowd." I was like, "No, I swear."
Wow.
So, that was a great night, and it was a great concert. You have a chance, go see Peter Murphy, Bauhaus, excellent time.
Killer experience. Wow.
Right. So, and now I want to talk to you because I know that your hero is Iggy Pop, and you went to see Iggy Pop recently, right?
He was incredible.
So I'd like to hear about that concert, too.
He was incredible. He opened with Lust for Life. I mean, the man is 69 going on 29. It's kind of incredible. He stage dove for the first time in many, many years.
Oh, really?
He stage dove. He jumped out in the audience. He did Everything off the new album, but he also did pretty much everything off of Lust for Life and the Idiot album. It was unbelievable.
Oh, great.
Yeah, it blew my mind. Like when he sat on the stool and started doing night clubbing, I was like, wow. And then luckily I snuck up real close, of course, because I do those things. And I got pretty close to the edge of the stage, and like it was pretty intense. Yes.
Too bad he didn't call you up.
I was waiting. That would have been the ultimate
would have been perfect.
Yes. And I was wearing the jacket too.
Oh yeah. Did he see it?
He did. I could tell. He saw it. And he smiled, but I wasn't close enough for him to call me up.
Yeah. I was hoping to go to that. He didn't do too many concerts in the area.
No, he did Philly and New York. That's it.
Just one night each.
Yep.
That's not right.
No, well, he's an old man now.
Yeah, right. So, did he have to end the concert like 9 o'clock? Everyone had to be in bed.
He played for 2 hours straight. I was really impressed.
And he's stage diving.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Yeah.
I would break my hip if I stage dived.
I would break my hip.
30 years younger than him.
I'm telling you, no, incredible. He was so good. He really was. Well worth it. Anybody, honestly, if you can go see him, go see him. He's incredible.
Yes. Live music, that's the key now.
Yep,
All these people are passing away.
Yes.
Like, we're going to do this whole big Prince tribute. But the greatest regret in my life is that I never got to see Prince. I had many opportunities. Oh, did you?
I did too.
Did you, Dee Dee?
No.
All right, at least I'm not the only idiot. All right, so when we get to that, you guys are going to tell us all about the Prince concert and all that kind of stuff. Hey, welcome back to Live from Dennis's house. And now we're going to go to Cha-Cha with Word on the Street. Gossip columnist to the stars. Everything terrible in the world of celebrity.
So Beyonce premiered her new visual album, Lemonade, this week. So there's a song on there called Sorry, and it alludes to a mystery woman, Becky, with good hair, who is having an affair with her husband. It's supposed to be her personal stylist, Rachel Roy. Okay, so the fans confused the chef and TV host Rachel Ray with this woman. Rachel Ray was getting all this hate mail and horrible Instagram.
Oh my God.
Rachel Ray, you're sleeping with Jay-Z. And she's like, what?
So she's
She went underground too. It's like she had death
and
threats.
I just,
Yeah.
of course, they
matter
had
with
to
people?
clear this up. And, Rachel Ray, once again, has redeemed, her sweetheart status. But, I mean, how funny is that?
It's a bunch of nonsense.
Yeah, and that's my word.
Isn't
on
that
the
funny,
street.
though, that Jay-Z is even cheating on Beyonce? The ugliest man in show business is cheating on the prettiest girl in show
girl.
business.
It goes to show you that.
It's a man's world,
It's a
I gotta
man's
tell you.
world.
This is a
You
sick,
know.
sad part of celebrity that we all hate, and these people shouldn't even be celebrities. I hate them all.
Yeah.
And God, if you're listening, you might want to take one of these one day.
Yeah,
you know?
really.
Enough with the geniuses already.
True.
All right, so now we're going to talk to Dee Dee and see what's going on in the wonderful world of Dee Dee. Everybody loves Dee Dee.
Hi. Oh, thank you. I love you too. Hey. The only show I really remember that I saw since the last time I was here was Buster Poindexter.
Oh, the one that we couldn't go see because someone's mother
I know
was
it's
here.
a sore subject, but
Yeah.
Buster, of course, was his fabulous self. It was like watching Who Framed Roger Rabbit. That really is what it's like to watch him perform. It's like watching a cartoon,
Cab Calloway, like 70s style or something weird.
It's like a cool cat. And but this time, some woman came up. I forget what song he was singing, but this woman comes up and was, I guess it had a few sodas, and her, you could tell, and she's grabbing onto her purse and she's flinging her sweater around, and she's dancing and like kind of grinding on him, and he's just like, whoa. His wife is sitting right there, and she proclaims that in 1976 and she used the F word to describe an encounter that they had in 1976, according to her. And everybody just was like, whoa. That's exactly the band's looking at her like, where is security and why is she still on the stage? And she's shaking her, whatever stuff she had going on. And he's kind of leaning on the piano, like, get away from me. And nobody came to take her.
Oh, really?
And then a friend of hers, I guess, came and said, okay,
escorted
come
her
on,
away?
time to go home now.
Wow, that would be great. The wife came punching in the
She was
face.
there, wasn't she there?
She was
Yeah,
there,
she was there.
and I'm not sure if this was the cause, but you know how he always comes back and does hot, hot, hot at the end?
Right, yeah.
He's on.
Yeah, he told somebody in the band, tell so-and-so it's going to be an early night. He disappeared and never came back again.
Yeah.
The band was
man.
waiting for him. He leaves and the band just kind of hangs out.
Wow.
And they're like,
That is
Wow.
scandalous.
Waiting for that encore.
he never came back, and
That's
they were
crazy.
just like, oh, okay. and they had
Good night. Good night, Cleveland.
Yeah. So
you know,
apparently
his wife was like this.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, well, it was 1976, so
Doesn't
who
matter.
cares?
There's no
But,
statute on that.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know.
Women don't have a statute of limitations.
No.
That's true.
So that was a pretty interesting turn of
Wow.
events.
You should have ran after that girl and punched her in the
I
face
should
yourself.
You know, one of my friends actually videotaped it.
Oh, yeah?
I got
I
it.
have in my
Yeah.
phone the video
Yeah.
of what she
You
did.
have to
I gotta see that.
So I may share it with you later.
Awesome.
Now he'll never come back.
Yeah, right, now,
we miss that chance.
That's it.
Yeah.
But besmirched by this slob.
Yeah, well, and that was my exciting news. And
Yes, very
That's
nice.
very
Very
that's
nice.
all I can
That's
remember that
awesome.
I've done in the
That's
past
plenty.
3 weeks.
Hey, welcome back to Live from Dennis's house. Now we're going to start our Prince tribute. As everybody knows, Prince passed away last week, or the week before, whenever it was. Very sad, tragic situation.
Yeah.
And before we start that, I forgot to introduce my guest here. To my left, we have Michael Macchioli.
Yes, sir.
There you go.
Well done.
And
Nicely stated.
he is filling in for Steven tonight, who we just found out that Steven
Yes.
went out to take out Nick for cracking hookers, and he never made it back, and we're not really sure where he is. He was last seen in the Rikers Island area.
Yeah.
So we're going to start the tribute here, and we're going to actually spotlight this album, Purple Rain. He's got
Yeah.
many, many great albums, but we're going to spotlight this one since we had to pick one. So Prince Rogers Nelson, born June 7th, 1958. Where? Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Yes.
Yes. All right, so now I know this. Nobody knows this. Even the people in the audience can scream this out if they want. He had a nickname when he was a child that nobody knows. I didn't even know this till I uncovered it. His nickname was Skipper.
Oh,
That's
no
something you
wonder
would never
nobody knows.
expect. And here's a very fascinating story I heard.
lived without
that
that,
he
yeah.
had, that was incidentally my nickname as well.
Yeah.
That he had epilepsy as a small child, right? And one time he went into his mom's room as a little kid and he goes, "Mom, I'm going to be okay now. I'm not going to have epilepsy anymore because an angel told me so." And she's like, "Yeah, sure. Go ahead, Skipper, whatever you say." And then, sure enough, he didn't have epilepsy anymore.
Oh my God.
Ever again, yeah.
Ever again.
More
Isn't that the
seizures.
most amazing story ever? All right. So Prince, as we all will agree, was a musical genius. The world's greatest crossover artist of all time. I'm going on record as saying. Now, this is, when David Bowie passed, everybody was upset. It was the biggest thing. Everybody was devastated. He was a true genius. But this... when Prince died, you saw everybody of every race, color, creed,
All spectrum.
everybody loves Prince. Pop,
Okay.
soul, funk, blues, dance music. And he mixed it all together beautifully with amazing style and sexuality. And he was the most versatile and experimental pop artist of our time. He was just a true genius because he was an amazing singer, songwriter, guitarist, and multi-instrumentalist. Like on his first album... first few albums, he played every single instrument on the album.
Yes.
Yep.
And it was
Didn't have a
ridiculous.
band.
He wrote it, he produced it, he did every single thing. And that was a funny story too, I heard, that when they were first signing him when he was 18, they wanted someone else to produce it, and he refused to sign. He says, "Nope, I'm producing it myself or I'm not signing." And sure enough, they agreed to it. So... he had just an amazing career. Actually, I got to go on record as saying, too, he is one of my favorite guitar players of all time as well.
Wow.
The sound that he gets is just magnificent. And his
Clapton, they
playing,
asked Clapton one time, they said, how does it feel to be the greatest guitarist in the world? And Clapton said, "I don't know, ask Prince."
I heard that.
So-
That sums it up.
And he really was.
In 1984, he released Purple Rain by Prince and the Revolution. This was the first time they introduced the Revolution
Yeah.
with Wendy and Lisa. Before that, it was mostly
Doctor.
all of him. And then the movie also came out at the same time, obviously.
Yes.
So how many times did you see the movie?
More times than I can count. I think literally I went every night that it was in the movie theater. I did. That's what me and my friend Carol did. Every night we went to see it. And we stayed, and back then when you went, you were in. Like you didn't have to
That's
leave
right.
and
You didn't
come
have to
out.
leave. You go at 8 in the
Yeah.
morning,
Yeah.
stay till midnight, right?
Yeah.
27 different showings.
And like the movie would stay for weeks and as long as it was making money, it was in the theater and we went every day.
See, now's the part of the show where Well, we'll do that afterwards, but
Right.
let me continue. But
Okay.
we're going to have a debate as to who likes Prince more, me or Cha-Cha. So after the break, we'll get to that. But
Yeah,
that's tough.
let's continue with our tribute here.
Okay.
That Purple Rain, when it came out, it spent 24 consecutive weeks at number one. He was the biggest star in 1984.
Yeah.
He was everywhere, everything. And that at one point, he had the number one song, the number one album, and the number one movie.
Wow.
Never before done or since, I don't think. He was famous for his sexually charged lyrics,
Yeah.
especially Darling Nikki, which was on here, which someone in our studio audience shouted out before, which enraged Tipper Gore so much
Right.
that she started that PMRC thing, which therefore got labels on the records and all this controversy for years after that, because Tipper bought the album for her daughter and wasn't paying attention and then heard Darling Nikki blaring out of the speakers. Would you like to recite the lyrics to Darling Nikki, Dee Dee? I would have to say that was his high point. It's not like he fell off a lot after that, though, but, he kept going for up until, last week. He kept going.
Yes.
And, he had a lot of hits, a lot of misses over the years that actually his next movie, Under the Cherry Moon, did you ever see that one?
No.
Yes.
Yeah, how would you think of that was?
It's awful, but
because-
it's got some good songs on it. Like
Yeah,
Kiss is
yeah.
good, and it's artistic. It's black and white, but it's not Purple Rain.
Right, it's not.
Because they said it was voted...
Graffiti Bridge is awful too.
That Under the Cherry Moon was voted the worst movie ever, tied with Howard the Duck.
Howard the Duck. Exactly. It's sad that you know that.
Wow.
It's pretty bad.
Howard the Duck was pretty
I
bad.
don't remember that.
But
either.
Graffiti Bridge, I think, is even a worse movie. So they're
Really?
really not giving him enough credit on that. It's just...
Well, it's kind of hard to make the worst movie ever. That's, hard in itself. You can make a bad movie,
Right.
but to
Yeah.
make the worst one ever, I would
But wait,
be
he had a
all right
number
with
one
that.
song off the worst
best.
movie ever. So
There
that's
you
an
go.
accomplishment
There you
in
go.
itself.
Right. So some of the highlights over the last few years for me was when he did the Super Bowl.
Yes.
Yeah.
Best performance at
Best
the Super
Yeah,
Bowl.
they say.
No
Ever.
question.
George Harrison.
Yeah.
I have to
George
agree
Harrison. I
with
was
that.
just going to
Harrison.
mention that.
Yeah.
See, we're on the same plane here. I like this
Yeah.
guy. That during the George Harrison tribute, they were playing "When My Guitar, While My
Yeah.
Guitar Gently Weeps."
Blew my mind.
He comes walking out bad
What a
ass as you
solo.
can get. And-
Drop mic.
Yeah.
that there's like
Unbelievable.
10 other people playing the guitar, Tom Petty and everything.
And they're all like,
and then he comes out and starts shredding on the guitar.
Yeah,
amazing
amazing.
tone and ability. It just, I was gently weeping during that part, of course. And I love Prince so much.
it pains our soul.
Yes, it is. Very sad. So now I want to talk a little about his personal life, too. Not many people knew about his personal life. That he was actually engaged to Susanna Melvoin back in 1985. Who's Susanna Melvoin, you may say?
Yeah.
She is Wendy's
sister.
twin sister.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes. So I don't know what happened, but they never got married. They were engaged. Maybe he couldn't tell which one was Wendy and which one was Susanna. So
That's a problem.
yeah, right. So, but as a member of our studio audience yelled out before too, that he was married to a backup singer and dancer. I'm not sure how to pronounce her name, but it's Mighty. Mighty. There you go. Where is Mighty, by the way? I got my coffee.
Maite or
Maite?
Maite.
Maite Garcia in 1996. And very sadly...
Isn't she the girl in the Diamonds and Pearls video as well?
I'm not sure of that, but she was on a reality show, Celebrity Wives. We
yes,
saw her
that's
on that.
right.
Yeah. So,
Wow.
but
Yes.
anyway, very sadly, they had a son named Boy Gregory. They named it Boy
Okay.
Gregory, who passed away in a week. He had some
Yes, I
disease or something.
remember.
Yeah, I don't remember that actually
Okay.
happening.
No, but I
But,
remember her talking about it on the show.
Oh,
She
okay.
still never got over it,
Yeah,
obviously.
it's something you don't get over.
Yeah.
And then they ended up getting divorced in 1999. And then, did you know this? I didn't know this either. He became a Jehovah's Witness in 2001. Did anyone know this?
He always kind of was, from what I
surprised,
understand. He got
yeah.
very involved with his religion.
And you know
Yeah.
who convinced him to do that? Larry Graham, the bass player from Sly and the Family Stone.
Wow.
Really?
Yes, yeah,
That I
yeah.
didn't know.
So, and it was just so funny. I heard an interview with the church where he went in Minnesota there, that he would just wear a regular suit, and all these like Jehovah Witnesses. He'd just come there, and he was known as Brother Rogers. That's what they call him. Yeah, yeah.
On a random Sunday, he would walk around his own
exactly.
neighborhood.
Can you believe that? You get a doorbell. Your doorbell rings. You go to it, and you see it's a
Prince.
Jehovah's Witness. But then it's Prince, and you're like, oh, come in.
Have you found Christ in your life?
And then in the last week of his life, he actually Record Store Day. On Record Store Day, he was in a record store in Minnesota, and he bought 5 albums. And one of them was the new Santana album.
Nice.
Santana 4. He was a big Santana fan. I don't know what the other 4 were.
That's pretty cool.
Hopefully it wasn't Beyonce. Yeah.
Oh, God.
The new Bieber record.
Yeah. So.
No, I think he actually likes music.
Oh, absolutely. So, and then, not clear what actually happened to this day. I don't know what happened, but the week before, there was an emergency plane landing, and they said he was unresponsive, but then they said it was influenza, dehydration, all that kind of stuff. So I don't have any idea what happened.
They think they gave him a magic bullet shot because they think he OD'd on Percocet possibly.
Right.
And if so, to get him out of that barbiturate haze that he was in, they gave him an adrenaline shot, got him out
Like Pulp
of it.
Fiction?
Kind of like Pulp Fiction,
yeah.
exactly.
Okay.
Brought him back home, and they wanted him to stay overnight. He decided to go back to Minneapolis, and they feel apparently there's been a lot of leaked things over the past couple of days where he apparently had a pill problem.
Right.
Like going
For the
back
hip, maybe?
for the hip, possibly,
That's
but they
what I
also feel he
heard.
had stage fright for years, and no one knew about this. That he was deathly terrified of going on stage, so he would take a lot of amphetamines and stuff to get himself souped up enough to go on stage, and then when he came off stage to finally go to sleep at night, they had to give him all these barbiturates.
There
Yeah,
you
he was
go.
very shy.
You could tell, he was
It was
extremely
pain,
shy
yeah.
and like
And
awkward when he'd be on
terrifying.
talk shows.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was, he was like,
I mean, that's not confirmed. I hope it's not, but I mean,
but something went
I
wrong
heard
somewhere.
something.
There's
so.
been so much speculation. They even mentioned heroin, which I was like,
Yeah, because
Yeah,
doesn't
but-
sound like
I
that
always
doesn't
thought he
sound
was
right.
anti-drug
No.
all
He
those
was,
years.
being-
I
being
never
a
heard
Jehovah's
of him.
Witness.
Right.
Yeah.
And he's always seemed in control, and he looked good wherever he went.
never took a bad
So-
photograph.
Yeah.
No,
Right.
never.
There
Oh
you
my
go.
God, you're
Yeah.
right
Never
about
took a bad
that.
photograph.
It's really
Yes.
true.
So it's very
Yeah.
sad. He was a genius, and he will be very missed. Very, very
Yes.
missed.
Very much
Yes.
so.
Hey, welcome back to Live from Dennis's house, and now it's the Dennis versus Cha-Cha Prince debate.
Oh, boy.
Now, as you mentioned before, back in 1984, I was not the biggest Prince fan. I liked the Purple Rain, and I liked some stuff, but I thought it was a little too odd for me, that I thought I was a little too cool for
Yes.
that. So I did maybe make fun of you, but
You were brutal, actually.
let's not get carried away now. But I always liked Prince much better than Michael Jackson. But I've since that's part of my growing, as you know. Every year I grow and mature, and this was part of me letting go of my hang-ups, and I started listening intently to all the songs, and I went back in his catalog.
Yeah.
And now, as you came to Prince from a 12-year-old girl perspective, I came from a mature...
You can't even say it.
I don't even know where I'm going with this.
Nowhere good.
I came from a guy listening to the Dictator's perspective.
Yeah, so there, I came from the musical background, not just because he was cute or anything like that. And I listened to all his stuff, and I absorbed it, and I appreciated it thoroughly.
You know, it always starts with the 12-year-old girls, though, right?
All right, you're not giving me a good debate here, so I win,
I don't
obviously.
know what am I debating? You
That I like
think-
Prince more than you
No,
now.
No.
That's the whole point.
no.
That in the beginning you liked
can
Prince
you
more,
say
but
that?
because I just said my story,
it's
you
a-
came to it as a 12-year-old girl, and I came around the back. I like Prince from the back.
Oh,
Whoa, hey now.
well, hey.
Hey. She's wearing a costume, and you said you're going to come from the back now.
Yeah, where am I supposed to go with that?
This debate is over, and of course I won. So I like Prince better than Cha-Cha. So now, more than, I don't like Prince better than you. I like Prince's music more than you like Prince's music. Case closed.
This is
it.
really gone.
You really should just stop.
I'm trying to. They won't let me. All right, it's now time to smell the album, and we're
Yes,
going to name our
let's
favorite
do
song.
Wait.
Oh, there's something in here, too.
Oh, an insert.
Ooh, it's a letter from Prince to me. What is this? Oh, look at this. It's a poster.
Look at that.
Wow.
Oh, yes, with the face. That's
Oh,
awesome.
I didn't even know that was in there. Let's have applause for this.
Yes.
Well, that's going up on the studio wall down
Yes,
here.
Very cool.
All right, so that was nice.
See,
what
that
else in
is
here?
mine.
Any money in here? Now that's another thing. Chacha says she has all these albums. If you can see, I have about 15,000 albums over there, and not one of them was hers. She had one album in her parents' house, and it got ruined in the flood.
All the
and that was
Jackson
it.
Brown albums are mine.
It's the Bay City Road.
All
right, shh, we got to smell the album now. Bring it
This is
down.
getting out of
Show's out of
control.
control. Yeah. Show's out of control.
We're upset about Prince.
Favorite song?
Purple Rain.
See,
Caught you by surprise. I thought you knew it so well.
I would die for you.
Very good. Yeah, you can name favorite song of all time. It doesn't have to be off of that album.
Can it be
When Doves Cry?
Nice.
Very nice.
There you go.
I'm going to smell 2 albums. First,
Wow.
First I'm going to smell this one.
Isn't that awesome?
Take Me With You. And this one, wait. Paisley Park.
Wow. Michael's going deep.
Yeah.
He got deep in there. So, all right. So now it is time to do the news. All the news that's not fit to print. So everybody put your seatbelt on and let's go. So this woman was arrested for defecating on her boss's desk after winning the lottery.
Oh, God.
Schenectady, New York. Julia Kaufman, 41, a shipping clerk for a courier company, had the winning lottery ticket worth over $3 million on Friday night, but showed up to work anyway on Monday to deliver one last package. I knew something was wrong because I came back from lunch and the door to my office was closed, said the manager, Wendell Thurman. I slowly opened the door to discover the woman with her pants around her ankles, hunched over on my desk like a hippopotamus, dropping a massive poo on my desk. She looked like a Play-Doh fun factory. It was well worth it, said the woman on her arrest. On Friday, when I realized I hit the lottery, I knew this would be the first thing I would do. I hit up every Mexican food truck and White Castle in town.
Did she cash the check first?
I was going to say, I hope those numbers were right.
I was shuffling around like a death row inmate trying not to explode. I've been putting up with that guy's crap for years. It's time he put up with some of mine.
Nice.
There you have it. Yeah, let's hear it
For the
Julia
Play-Doh Fun
Kaufman.
Factory.
Now, Dee Dee, do you remember that I actually told this story, that the same thing happened to me, that it was even before I won. I just was so, I just knew I was going to win. So on Friday afternoon, after my boss left, I went and I took a crap on his desk and I wrote Helter Skelter on the wall with it. Right. And then
Political piggy.
And then Friday night the thing went off and I didn't win. So I had to sneak back into his office and clean everything up before he got it on Monday. So, there you have it. All the news not fit to print. So I want to thank everybody for coming on, and it was a great show. We love Prince. We're going to miss him very well.
Yeah.
Very much. Any last words? Thank you. All right. Thanks for joining us here on Live from Dennis's House, only on 474 The Mix, where the music matters. See you next week when I'll be doing another album and behaving badly. Like us on Facebook, subscribe on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, DennisMorgillo.com. Watch me on the radio, hear me on the TV, and all social media.